Right, this is Linton the Swarm Vassal, Bellator light heavyweight contender, and you're watching the MMA Crypt Fighting Talk Show.
Just put your pace. Anyway. Okay, Gregory Stone, MMA.com. On today's show, we have former Cage Warriors welterweight champion and current UFC welterweight, Nicolas Dalby. Welcome to the show, Nicolas.
Thank you very much.
So, Nicolas, I believe you just returned back from Brazil today. Is that correct?
No, actually arrived yesterday night, so I'm over the worst jet lag and sleep deprivation.
Yeah, I was going to say, have you had much chance to settle back into the time zones, etc.?
Yeah, it wasn't that bad though, because it wasn't that bad getting to the Denmark rhythm again, because I think the night between Saturday and Sunday I slept 3 hours because the after party took a while to get finished, and only think I slept 2 hours on the way home because my ankle was a bit swollen, so I couldn't really sleep on the plane. But when I then got home yesterday, I slept for 12 hours straight, so I'm pretty much back into the Danish rhythm again.
Well, you talk about you couldn't sleep on the plane because your foot was hurting. I have to ask, how was your
Yeah,
travels to Brazil? Because obviously you got the weight cut and everything. Obviously it didn't affect your weight cut because you made the weight, but did it sort of hurt your weight cut in a way?
not really, not at all. We flew in Monday. It took around 22 or 23 hours to get there, and so it didn't really it didn't really affect anything weight cut wise or fight wise. I think because we flew in so early that we adjusted pretty fast to the rhythm, and yeah, and all the weight cutting went fine. So
I want to skip to the Wayans now. I noticed that the Wayans was wearing a Go A's football jersey. I'm not too sure if
yeah,
you support that club or you're just trying to get a bit of a home crowd support there. Which one was it, Nicholas?
well, it was neither actually. It came by because a Brazilian fan, he wrote me on Twitter, and I was like, he wrote me asking if maybe I was interested in if he came by with a shirt, if I'd be interested in wearing at the weigh-ins. And I was like, okay, either either hate me much more because I'm a gringo wearing that shirt, or they'll maybe think it's kind of cool and give some support to me even though I'm a foreigner. And it seemed like the last thing happened because at the weigh-ins, when I first came in, they were booing and laughing because I almost tripped over the top step. And then when I held up the shirt, they kind of turned into a cheer instead. So, and I got like almost 100 comments on some of my Instagram pictures from just Goya's fans that were thought it was cool that I was supporting the club.
Yeah, I watched the
Um,
recording that you did. You took a camera with you, and obviously I couldn't tell because of the audio. It was just like this big raw, almighty raw when you had the jersey on, so I couldn't tell whether it was jeering or cheering. So I was going to ask you that, but obviously it was
yeah,
mainly cheering. But I wanted to
yeah.
ask you about your camera there. I noticed that you took your camera. Was you like sort of documenting your UFC debut there, or is that something that you always do when you go to fights? Take your camera and sort of document your travels and your fights.
It's a new thing. I've had a GoPro for a while, but I just recently began to kind of document what I do. It's all yeah. So it's not something I've done before, but I thought it would be nice to do, and there's two guys doing a video documentary on me, so I thought that would maybe give them some great material for the documentary, really getting some first person views and some up and close shots. So I've been doing this a lot for this trip.
Could you tell us a little bit about the documentary, what it's about?
It's about me.
Like your
uh,
rise to the UFC, etc.
no, actually, they just they come from the same city in Denmark as I grew up in, and they know me pretty well, and they just think that in general as a person, obviously also because I'm an MMA fighter, but they think I'm interesting enough to like be able to do a documentary about. So they just want to do that, and they haven't really settled on a specific angle or something specific that they wanna do with this. Right now, they're just beginning to shoot a lot of material, and then we'll go from there. So maybe it'll end up like a the Ream show, perhaps. It can end up like just one documentary in about 40 minutes length. We haven't really settled on anything specific yet.
Well, let's talk about your fight and dig into it a little bit with Elizu Zaleski de Santos, bit of a big name there.
Yeah, yeah,
Now, I noticed that as soon as the fight started, you started off with a high volume of kicks. You didn't throw many punches. I think you threw about 5 kicks before you even threw one punch. Is there a particular
yeah.
reason for that? Was it solely for De Santos, or was that something you normally do, just get into your rhythm and the feel of the fight?
No, we didn't have any specific plans for what I should start out with. He was just, I felt I could catch him more that distance in the beginning of the fight because he was always moving away whenever I tried to punch him. So I guess in the start of the fight, that just felt natural to do that.
Well, you did land a double leg takedown on him. You managed to get inside his guard. Uh, didn't cause much damage, not much offense from yourself, but I noticed the referee didn't give you much time to really work for anything. He stood you up in about 30 seconds. What did you make of the stand up there?
When I was in the fight, I felt it was maybe a bit premature. When I saw the fight afterwards, I just saw it today for the first time. Then I thought maybe it was a bit fast still, but I understood a bit better because nothing was really happening. But still maybe a bit premature. But yeah, Eliseo, he kind of just stalled there. He just held me tight, and so I wasn't really able to get out of his guard.
Yeah, I sort of had to look twice when he did it. I sort of like taking a swig of my drink, then when he stood you up, I was like, what? Wait, is he just stood him
Yeah,
up there? And then,
yeah.
but when you stood up, the crowd actually started roaring and cheering. So I'm not too sure whether the crowd played a part and influenced the referee off earlier fights because you was like the third or fourth fight. So maybe the crowd was influencing the referees. I'm not too sure. I won't ask you
I
that
don't think
question.
so. I don't think so. Fernando Yamazaki is a pretty good ref. So, and the crowd didn't say anything before he stood us up. So I don't think that played a role.
Well, you gained 2 takedowns in round one. You controlled the stand up pretty much. Was round one a comfortable round for you there, Nicholas?
Sorry.
Was round one a comfortable round for you? You gained 2 takedowns, seemed to control the stand up.
Yeah. It felt okay, but I didn't really. I I could have dominated more. I could have been more, dominating in that round.
I noticed the Santos, he seemed a lot more aggressive in the start of round two. He landed a couple of good hooks from inside the pocket. Was you sort of surprised and taken back how aggressive and how quickly he came out in round two? Because you gained the pace in round one. You set the pace in round one, and then he just sort of came out a little bit more aggressive. Did it sort of take you by surprise?
No, not really. Nothing that he did in the fight really surprised me. Cause he's been doing it all in his previous fights. But yeah, it didn't really like it didn't I didn't get caught by surprise, but yeah, maybe I didn't expect it that much aggressivity from him.
It seemed in round two that you was trying to slow the pace down. You went for another double leg. You got back control, gable grip, took him down, got your hips low, tight to him, took him down. It seemed like you was trying to slow the pace down. Is that correct? Was you trying to slow the pace down midway through round two and sort of control the fight a little bit, Nicholas?
Not specifically. I didn't go for like slowing down the pace. I just did in the fight what felt natural, and because we always had the thought that if we could kind of make him guess where the fight would take place, that could kind of make him doubt himself a little bit and be more careful with his striking. So that was more like the plan. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I just did what felt natural. Of course, we had a game plan for the fight, and I could feel him coming out aggressively. So I tried to make him doubt his punches a bit by taking him down.
Well, as I mentioned, you had the gable grip, you had his back up against the cage. Yeah, you was trying to put the one hook in on the outside leg, but he was refusing to let you take it. he seemed pretty strong. Seemed like he was having a bit of a tough time taking him down and controlling him up against the cage. You actually broke away a couple of times in the fight. Was he a lot bigger and stronger than he looked?
No, I didn't feel he was bigger or stronger than I imagined, and he didn't feel strong per se. I actually felt he wasn't strong. He was just good at moving. He was a very fluid guy in his movement. He's good at moving away, and I think that actually plays a bigger role than pure strength in MMA, because when you have good technique, it feels more easy to do stuff. So he wasn't strong. Like when he gripped me, I wasn't like, holy fuck, this guy is strong. It was more like, okay, he has good movement.
Well, to send us to the fight, he threw a wide array of strikes at you. For the most part, you slipped a lot of them, blocked, checked a lot of them. How do you feel like your striking defense was in the fight and your movement?
Well, I felt it was difficult to get him inside my punching range without suddenly his pocket, because he was moving backwards a lot and then he came forwards a lot. So that kind of made it difficult for me to get into the rhythm with my boxing. Which I kind of, after the solo fight, I saw some details that could maybe get improved for the next fight. But yeah, I didn't really catch the rhythm I usually feel I can catch in a fight.
Well, I noticed that the Santos, he was throwing that overhand right a lot in the fight. Clearly, that's what he's won a lot of his fights by a knockout with. The uppercut too, but it wasn't as often as the overhand right. You slipped it a lot, got away from it. Was that something you was aware of before the fight and obviously whipped on?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. If we were aware of anything more than others, it was the overhand right. So yeah, I spent a lot of time getting guys in the gym to emulate him, to like train what I had to do in order to negate that.
Well, personally, I think Kenny Florian hit the nail on the head. He said it was summing both you guys up. It was an impressive debut from both you guys. How do you sum up your UFC debut? Was you happy with your performance there, Nicholas?
I'm not happy with my performance. I know I can do it a lot better. Not that I'm disappointed. Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed by it, actually. It's not that it was a bad performance per se. People like the fight, which is nice, but I just know I can do so much better. I think I was really what do you say? What's the word? I was really disappointed after the fight, right after the fight, because I got the feeling that I had so much more to offer, and I didn't get to show that. But now that a lot of people are kind of commentating on the fight and letting me know they thought it was good, it softens it a bit. But I still think that I could have done so much better. I could have closed the fight, and I really want to show that the next time.
Well, Nicholas, this is your moment on the show to take the microphone, and anyone you want to thank, sponsors, mentions, feel free to let them know now, Nicholas.
I really want to give a shout out first and all to Tua Trenka, my head coach for 10 years now. I would literally not be here without him at this point in my career. So it was nice to, in some way, get a full circle moment, having him to my first UFC fight in Brazil as well. So I really want to thank him. Also all the guys at Rumble Sports, obviously. Without them, I wouldn't be able to get to this level of skill set that I have today. Also Kenneth J, who helped me with some nutritioning and physical training for this fight. My family also helped me a lot for this fight, and in general, just there's a lot of people that have helped me out, and I can't remember the names of all of them right now. So just to all the guys who helped me out for this fight, thank you from the bottom of my heart.
One more question I'd like to throw in here, Nicholas. I understood.
Yeah.
Well, I understand. I read it on Twitter that you've got a 30-day suspension. Is that correct or incorrect? You sort of didn't understand yourself because nobody's told you that you've been suspended for 30 days. Obviously, medical
Well,
reasons.
well, I can't say that it's incorrect. I can just say that I wasn't informed of it before I read it on Twitter, or I read it on MMA Fighting, I think. And I was like, wait, what? They didn't tell me anything about that at the event. So maybe it was just a slip up on their side. I don't know. But I was just surprised. Not that I have anything against it. I think it's just the 30-day, what do you call it? The 30-day what's the name of it? Yeah, the 30-day period when I'm not supposed to fight. It's okay because I don't think I'm gonna get a fight within 30 days, but so it doesn't really matter for me. But it was just surprising to read about it when I wasn't informed about it at the event.
It is strange. So once the 30 days is up, Nicolas, so you make yourself available to the matchmakers. Here I am. Put me on a card.
I think I'll sit down with Tool and Graham Boylan and talk about it, and then I think maybe take a month where I'm not training like 2 times every day, just to let my body heal up a bit, and then and yeah, hopefully maybe take a fight late August, start September, something like that. Maybe earlier, maybe later. I don't know. I'll have to talk with Tua and Graham about it.
Okay, that's a wrap for today's show. Nicolas, thanks for coming on and joining us.
You're welcome, and thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Okay, from the MMA Fighting Talk Show, as always, guys, thank you for watching.